Drama is all around us. It's online, it's in our homes, there's no escaping it. Celebrity drama is a little more out there, but it gets really juicy when they're caught having brawls and getting in trouble in public in front of other people. These incidents get really interesting, and I have a few to tell you guys about today, so let's get into counting down the top 10 celebrities involved in public drama. At number 10, 50 Cent. Back in 2016, rapper 50 Cent got into some big trouble while in the Caribbean after saying some colorful language on stage at one of his concerts. It all happened during one of his performances while in St. Kitts. In St. Kitts, the use of profanity in public is illegal, so when it came to his concert, he was told that he had to refrain from using any kind of adult language while on stage. During one of his songs, he mistakenly said the word mother effa in front of the audience of over 40,000 people, and that was a huge no-no. The rapper was allowed to finish the rest of his set, but he was promptly arrested after the show. In his defense, 50 Cent said that he didn't have a clean version of the song and he forgot to move his mic away from his mouth when he said the word. Luckily for him, when it came to his legal matters in court, he was only asked to pay a small fine, and he settled the charge against him, so it definitely could have been worse, but it still probably sucked to be arrested in front of all of his fans. At number 9, Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon got into some public drama with a police officer and was all caught on camera. The actress seemed to have a little bit of diva energy buried within her, and we got to see a glimpse of that energy escape when she and her husband were arrested in 2013. The two of them were pulled over by an officer, and Reese's husband was given a DUI charge, and in an effort to fight the charges and probably try to intimidate the arresting officer into letting them go, Reese pulled the "do you know who I am" card, but that didn't exactly work out like she had hoped. Her attempt at defending her husband resulted in the actress being arrested for disorderly conduct, but the news of her arrest wasn't the only thing to hit the media. The whole incident was also caught on camera and uploaded to the internet, where it was broadcast to the world. Years later, in 2020, Reese opened up about her experience getting arrested and called the arrest, quote, embarrassing and dumb. Before we carry on talking about these celebrities and their juicy drama, let me first take a moment to ask you guys to consider leaving a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and also consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Cole Sprouse. In another case of a celebrity being arrested in public, next up we've got Cole Sprouse. The Riverdale star and former Disney Channel actor was arrested back in June 2020 during a peaceful protest during last summer's Black Lives Matter movement. After the ordeal, Cole took to his Instagram to talk about what happened that day, where he said, quote, "We were given the option to leave, and we were informed that if we did not retreat, we would be arrested. When many did turn to leave, we found another line of police officers blocking our route, at which point they started zip tying us." End quote. Cole also went on to voice that he didn't want the news of his and other public figures' detainments to take away from the movement, and so he wanted to take the headlines of his arrest away from the news outlets in order to focus on the real matter at hand, the lives of black people. Cole and a number of other protesters were held in police custody for around 90 minutes before being charged with a misdemeanor count of violating curfew and then being let go. At number 7, Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne once got into some public drama during a basketball game, but it turns out that Lil Wayne has quite a rocky past when it comes to the NBA, because this wasn't the first time it happened. In 2012, he was denied entry to an Oklahoma City Thunder's game after what seemed to have been a ticketing mix-up, and then in 2013, there was an altercation during a Lakers vs Heat game that left him not only banned from the game, but also banned from all NBA events. Apparently, the rapper got into a verbal altercation with a fan in the stands, and this outburst led to him gesturing to the fan that he had a gun. This led to him allegedly leaving the stadium on his own accord and being banned from all NBA events. Just to make matters worse, he went on a Twitter rampage, as one does, saying some NSFW stuff about the NBA and Chris Bosh's wife. It was super public and probably a little embarrassing afterwards because of the big scene that he caused both at the game and online. At number 6, Chris Brown. We know that Chris Brown has a bit of a temper, as we've seen countless times before, so it's no surprise that he's been banned from somewhere for being a bit unruly and aggressive and causing some unnecessary drama. Chris is now banned from the Lifetime athletic chain of gyms and fitness centers after his encounter with a manager from one of their New York City locations. Reports said that Chris and his friends were in a game of basketball when they started getting loud and unruly and started swearing at each other and causing a bit of a scene. As the manager came in to speak to the group and asked them to tone down their voices and music, that's when Chris got angry. According to TMZ, Chris, quote, went ballistic, screaming and swearing at the woman. Chris and his friends were then asked to leave, and Chris reportedly spat on the door on his way out. out. He really didn't need to do all that, but I guess that's Chris Brown for ya, always causing drama and letting his temper get the best of him. At number 5, Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian. When the Kardashians were riding their rise to fame and their reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians was gaining popularity, the network decided to make a spin-off show that focused on Kourtney and Khloe Kardashian. Since Keeping Up was centered mostly around Kim, they wanted to give the other Kardashian sisters some time in the spotlight, but that didn't end up going so well because it ended up causing some drama with a whole town. The show was supposed to follow the sisters in the Hamptons, but the Hamptons really weren't down with that idea. The classy Long Island town didn't want anything to do with the Kardashian sisters or their cameras because it was disturbing the peace, so to speak. This area is frequented by some classy high society people in the summertime, so the last thing that they wanted was a camera crew and some loud LA folk wandering around the area. When Kourtney and Khloe rolled up, townspeople started yelling at them to go home, and some places even refused to serve them because they were unwelcome in the area. Restaurants and other places banned the Kardashians, so eventually the show had nowhere to go. At number 4, Russell Crowe. I don't know who needs to hear this, but here's your reminder to not throw things at people when you get angry. It is unnecessary and it just escalates the situation even more and causes unnecessary drama. Actor Russell Crowe is a good example of where those kinds of actions get you because back in 2005, Russell Crowe got really mad and as you can imagine, it didn't end well. There was a number of reasons why he was mad, but he was really just in a horrible mood that day. It was probably a no-bones day. Apparently, Russell was trying to call his wife in Australia while he was at a hotel in New York. He went down to the front desk to complain to the concierge about how his suite's phone wasn't working, and for some reason he brought the phone with him. The concierge tried helping Russell with his problem, but the actor just continued to get more and more frustrated with the situation and the person helping him, and ended up throwing the phone at the concierge's face. Russell ended up cutting the concierge just under his eye when he threw the phone, and later when the police were called, he was charged with assault and criminal possession of a weapon, all in public. On top of that, the actor was banned from that hotel because no one wants another phone incident. At number 3, Kid Rock and Tommy Lee. When attending an award show, you have to respect what's going on stage. Whether it's a performance or the actual awards being presented, it's important to be a good audience member and not cause a scene in the middle of the event. Clearly though, Kid Rock and Tommy Lee didn't quite get the memo because when they attended the VMAs in 2007, they caused some serious drama in the middle of the show and they ended up getting kicked out because of it. The pair got into a heated argument during Alicia Keys' performance at the show that evening that started as a verbal fight and ended in an all-out brawl with slaps, punches, and the whole 9 yards. Other guests in attendance were stunned while they watched this fight unfold. Some tried to get out of the way as security rushed to the scene of the fight and tried to break it up, and others just sat at the table stunned. The police were eventually called in to handle the situation, but this fight was certainly not something that people would forget anytime soon. At number 2, Jane Fonda. Jane Fonda is an incredible actress and activist, and she spent a surprising amount of time in jail. Not for extended periods, but she really isn't all that afraid of getting arrested, especially not in public. Jane has been taken to jail on a number of occasions, mostly following a string of climate protests. In late 2019, Jane was leading weekly climate change protests that she called Fire Drill Fridays. Her most recent arrest happened in December of 2019, a day before her 82nd birthday, where she and a number of other protesters were detained for participating in the climate change demonstration. This most recent arrest followed 2 more that she faced as a result of her protests. Like I said, Jane is not afraid of getting arrested as long as she gets her message of change across. Jane said that up until this recent string of arrests, she hadn't been behind bars since the 70s. At that point in her early life, Jane was arrested after speaking out against the Vietnam War, although her charges back then were more severe than her most recent ones. Her arrest in the 70s came after she was initially charged with fraudulent drug trafficking and assaulting an officer, both of which were inevitably dropped. In 2019, she was arrested 5 times, and apparently because her list of arrests was starting to climb, had she been arrested one more time, she would have risked serving a longer jail sentence, but I don't think that Jane was really all that afraid of that risk. She's just there for the movement, not her image. She's not afraid to start something as long as she gets to stand up for her cause. And finally, at number 1, Amber Heard. Last year, following the explosive court case with her ex-husband Johnny Depp, Amber was exposed for all of the horrible things that she subjected her partner to while they were together. And a lot of people went looking through her past, looking for any behavioral patterns, and found that she once had been arrested for having a dramatic physical dispute in an airport. Back in 2009, Amber Heard was arrested for getting into a physical altercation with her then partner Tasia Van Ree at an airport in Seattle. According to the arresting officer that day, she witnessed Amber hit Ree and then took action, proceeding to arrest the actress in public and book her for the misdemeanor battery charge. There was supposed to be a court proceeding to further process her case, however the prosecutor refused to move forward with the case and it was dismissed even though there was a witness to the incident. In response to the charges, Reese told sources that the incident was just dramatic and blown out of proportions and that the arresting officer was homophobic and that's why Amber was arrested, but the officer insisted that was not the case and actually wrote about it on her social media, making a statement on Facebook saying that she identifies as a gay woman and that she didn't issue the arrest out of spite or prejudice, but because she saw the whole thing unfold before her eyes. Before I wrap things up for today, I want you guys to leave a comment down below telling me the last public altercation that you witnessed. I'm from Toronto and I see weird stuff going on in public every day, and it's never a dull moment, but what about you guys? Tell me about it down in the comments. Anyways, that's it for me. I've been your host, Bria Room, and until next time, stay safe, make good choices, and stay groovy, friends.